representing Congressman Doug Lamborn, Pastor Jeff Anderson.
Let me just begin pastorally. Jack and the entire Phillips family, as well as these other artists and business owners, let me just remind you, God is on our side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me? Let me remind you what was expressed already in the book of Daniel. Our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us. And let me remind you that all things do work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And all of you have been called to an extremely high purpose, and we're very grateful to stand with you today. It is truly an honor for each of us to stand here today. I would like to thank Colorado Christian University for holding this important event. My name is Pastor Jeff Anderson, and I work for Congressman Doug Lamborn. He represents the Colorado 5th District, which is bordering Jack's district. And Jack, I just want you to be sure that even though you are not one of my congressman's constituents, I can assure you that he would claim you if he could. The congressman's not able to be with us today. He has responsibilities in Washington, D.C., including votes and other obligations. And so, though he was not able to be with us today, he wanted to be sure to send someone who would be able to stand on this particular occasion. Jack's livelihood, as we all know, as well as the freedom of speech and expression of all Americans, is at stake in this case. Soon it's going to be before the Supreme Court, very soon, in just another month on December 5th. We must remember that the rights of conscience for everyone are at stake in this case. If we restrict freedom of speech or freedom of exercise in one area, there's nothing from stopping those restrictions from spreading to others. Yesterday, it may be Jack. Today, it may be you. Tomorrow, it may be me. All of us should be very concerned about this case. American history, our founding values, the legal precedent have long protected the rights of citizens to live out their differing beliefs and opinions. Why should it be any different in this case? The offense here is not that Jack won't create his masterpiece for certain occasions. The true offense is that the Colorado Rights Civil Commission is trying to force him to create a masterpiece approving of something that he does not believe in. When you consider Jack's privilege to express himself, his art comes with a set of principles that guide him. If he were asked to violate those principles in his artwork, and he's already expressed that he will not violate those principles. There is no government that should be allowed to force him to violate those principles of artistic expression in his own private business. I want to cite at least two other people who would agree with me when it comes to artistic freedom and freedom of expression. First of all is Ryan Baumberger. He's of the Radiance Foundation. It's an outspoken activist on behalf of African Americans and the unborn. He understands racism as well as discrimination, and he also is an Emmy Award-winning creative professional who understands artistic freedom. Listen to what he has to say about Jack and others facing similar government coercion. Artistic expression cannot be controlled, cannot be dictated, cannot be legislated. Yet this is exactly what is happening with photographers and cake artists and florists and people like me. I don't want the government to tell me how to create, because the moment that there is this kind of control, there is no longer artistic freedom, and then there is no longer art. Then there's Dean Nielsen, the chairman and co-founder of the Frederick Douglass Foundation, who also supports Jack, and here's what his analysis is of what Jack is facing. Jack is a modern representation of someone who went through what African Americans have gone through. He simply wants to live his life peaceably, to conduct himself and to run his business without being bothered, and yet he's being subjugated and ostracized simply because of what he believes. In September, Congressman Lamborn proudly signed onto a congressional amicus brief along with 80 of his colleagues on Jack's behalf. He stands proudly in support of Jack and all Americans like him who simply want to freely express and live out their deeply held beliefs. Freedom. Freedom is an idea that's so central to our very identity as a nation that as citizens, it's hard for us to understand why Jack has had to travel this difficult journey over the past 5 years. When any government entity forces artists to create masterpieces that represent something that artists cannot endorse in good conscience, can anyone consider us to be truly free? It seems that some have forgotten what freedom is. And so we pray that the Supreme Court will stand on the side of freedom, that artists like Jack can continue to serve their communities with their God-given talents and abilities, not violating their God-given conscience. On behalf of the Congressman, Doug Lamborn, thank you for welcoming me here today. Jack, thank you again for your conviction, for your reliance, for your courage. You're a common American who has become a true hero, and we are honored to stand alongside you. May God bless you.